Okay, I thought I'd prepare a short presentation for those students who missed the first session. I want to begin by just briefly indicating some of the people who have inspired me over the last decade in terms of work I have done related to video documentary production, some of whom are actually going to be teaching on this course. So in particular, Kit Williams, who is an Australian director-producer, she will be participating as a guest lecturer. And also Luis Patron, who is a freelance filmmaker based here in Japan, he will be involved in one of the workshops that we're going to organize to give you some hands-on experience using camera and video editing. And we're also very fortunate to be collaborating with Dong Kang in the School of Media and Communications at Shanghai Jiao Tong University. So we have a great teaching team lined up for you, and I'm sure you're going to find this a very rewarding and engaging experience. So let's look at Kit's portfolio. It's very extensive and includes a lot of earlier work with Aboriginal communities in Australia. She then spent some time working at the United Nations University and then completed a climate science degree in the UK, an internet sociology degree, and then a doctorate in media at RMIT University. Most recently, she's just produced a television series in Australia that looks at the four activists, Aboriginal activists, who had a very important influence on politics in Australia. And that actually won the award for the best documentary factual single at the 2024 Australian International Documentary Conference. Luis Patron has also received various awards, and one of his earliest documentaries, which was on the voices of the Chichinautzin, received the Moondance Award, but was also the best documentary at the Tepoztlan International Film Festival in Mexico. Dongjing is also producing documentaries, and she's currently doing a film about dance traditions in Tibet, and I'm sure she will talk a little bit about that when we connect to her. At the United Nations University, where I worked for about 20 years, we produced a number of documentaries. You can see some examples here. Some of those documentaries were with Louise and Kit, but there were other filmmakers who was part of the team, and it was a very impressive group of young professionals producing some excellent work. One example is the Wisdom Years documentary that we did with the World Health Organization, and it was looking at the secrets of a long and healthy life. And what is interesting about this documentary, and it's something that maybe you could take into consideration, is how we interviewed various stakeholders, including centenarians, but also scientists, who are explaining the background to the scientific background to a healthy long life, and then people at various stages in their lives, just sort of exploring the importance of family, the importance of diet, the importance of remaining fit and healthy. Another documentary that I did was Living in Fukushima, funded by the Japanese Ministry of Environment, and they were very keen to have a very technical documentary, sort of explaining how you remove radiation, primarily for an international audience. But what we did was we actually suggested that they give voice to the local people who are struggling with that situation. And you can see that we asked various local people to appear in the documentary, talking, for instance, about the importance of bringing peach growing back, a mother's perspective on the challenges of raising young children in that kind of environment, and then the documentary was disseminated via various channels in Japan and internationally. So in this course, what we're trying to do is to really introduce you to the professional practice of documentary production. And it's a beginner's level course, but it's a real emphasis on learning by doing and self-learning. So we're not holding your hand. We're expecting that if you have some problem, that you might do Google search or look on YouTube and try to figure out how to solve it. So we do cover a lot of the theory behind filmmaking, but you're also expected to try to approach the technical and get an understanding of the production issues. You need to work well as a team, and at the end we want you to reflect on how the process went and the strengths and weaknesses of your project. There are essentially two parts to this course. In the first part, you develop a pitch for your documentary proposal that you present to the teaching faculty, and then you go out into the field and do the filming, which is the production stage, and then you do the editing in a studio, which is the post-production stage, and then you share with us the final video. So these are some examples of pitches that were made by students who previously took this course, and we're aiming for you to be able to prepare and share your pitch on the 6th of November. So here are some images, some stills taken from videos produced by students in the past, and the aim is for you to produce a 5 to 6 minute video documentary. It's very short, but that is also quite challenging to do. And the goal is for you to share that with us mid-December, and then to finish the video, to put all the things like titles and music and subtitles and so on and so forth up by the end of January. There is a practical workshop on the 12th, it's a weekend, 12th and 13th of October, and in that Luis Patron will be here at Osaka University on the Suita campus, and you'll spend time on the first day learning how to use a camera and going out and filming. And then on the second day, you'll learn about setting up a project in Adobe Premiere Pro and doing some basic editing. So please, if you haven't signed up for that yet, let me know and I will make sure that you can attend. So you'll be put into teams and you'll be acting as a production company, and you're responsible for organizing your work and meeting the deadlines. And within each production company, there are basically 4 roles. The director, who sort of decides the story and tries to keep everything moving forward. The camera operator, the video editor, and then the production manager. And the production manager is responsible for organizing the equipment and the logistics, getting everybody to the field on time, maybe setting up interviews and so on. So please think about what role you would like to have. So normally the directors and producers make the pitch, but what we want is that every team member will speak in the time allocated for the pitch. It's really an important skill, and it's one where most directors and producers either get a commission from a platform like Netflix or TV company, raise funds or set up the team, and there are usually major events around the world where this happens. So here's the overall structure of the course, and think that we're working towards session 6 initially, where you prepare your pitch and present it, and then we go into the production phase where you're shooting in the field and then doing the editing. By session 11, you'll have a rough cut, and by session 15, you'll have your final cut. And each time we'll be giving you feedback and suggestions of how to improve. The next thing is that there are 2 film contests that you can submit your video to. The first one is from Osaka University. It's a very tight deadline, 27th of October, but it's a 3-minute video on sustainable development issues, and you might want to consider submitting to that. The next one is a little bit later. It's from the University of Groningen, and it's on climate and sustainable development in cities. And that's again a very short video, but there's some nice prize money. So I would encourage you to think about submitting to both of those film contests. This is our textbook, and earlier versions of some of the chapters are actually on CLE for you to download. And there's also a companion website where you can get more resources. This is the rubric that we use for assessing your participation in this course. So the project pitch is 25% of the overall grade. The rough cut is another 25%. And then the final cut is 40% of your overall mark. And we're looking at things in the final cut about your technique, the group collaboration, how creative it is, and whether the quality has gone up compared significantly to the rough cut. And then there's a final project review where you will reflect on how the whole production process went, and also you reflect on the interaction, the collaboration with your peers in the team, and that's 10% of the grade. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, you can email me or we can discuss them in class.